Hello, I'm Ellen Roberts, and this is Senior Issues, Etc. This month we're having a guest from Elder Care. This is Lee Ramirez, and well, I hope you'll enjoy the information. Lee, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization?
Sure. Hi, good morning. I'm humbled. Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
And I work with Elder Care. Elder Care is an organization that helps seniors 65 and over. And what our organization does is that we provide medical transportation to and from the doctor's office, friendly visits, and grocery shopping. And all this is done by wonderful volunteers.
Well, that's great that you have a group of people from Lake County that help you. And so how would a volunteer get in touch with your organization, or what's the expectation for volunteering? Is it how much time per week, or is a specific commitment that they have to make
So basically what we do is whoever allows us 5-10 minutes of their times, we go most of the times to churches and do like a 5 or 10 minute presentation, and that's how we're able to tell the community about the services for those in need and for volunteers who wish to come and help. And we do a small training for the volunteer. It's about an hour and a half, and the training is about the do's and don'ts.
Is there anything that volunteers are always surprised about after the training when they get remarks like that? That you're like, oh, I didn't realize that this was something to be aware of, or.
No, pretty much the volunteers that come to us are people who are retired, mostly retired people who retired, and they do this because they want to give back to the community, and it really makes a difference in the community, and the need is great. It's very, very needed.
Yeah, so most people when we retire now, we're not, we're still very active and everything else, and we want to do stuff, and it really sounds to be good to hook up with an organization like yours to, so we can help others. Now, for your clients, I assume that's what you refer to the people who call up and ask for help. So you were, when we were speaking earlier, you were talking about they'll do transportation to doctor's office and things like that. So somebody would you have to be signed up with your organization in advance to get that assistance?
We once we have the volunteer contact the organization, there's a training. We do a background check because we do want to protect our volunteers. Sometimes the volunteers will have to go into the elders' homes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we do a background check and
match up volunteers
demographically. We match the volunteer with the care receiver.
Yeah, it makes sense. The more comfortable both people are, the better the experience is going to be for everybody.
Oh, I guarantee you, you come in thinking that you're going to do something wonderful for an elder, but the exchange is amazing. You can't put it into words.
Oh, but you get so much more back than you think you're going to.
It's something that I wish everyone had a chance to experience, gave themselves that opportunity.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like speaking to grandma or whatever,
Yes.
or even,
Everyone has a grandma or a grandpa, right? So,
and compare, I can imagine you can share stories from your family with them, and this is a whole new audience who hasn't heard this story like your husband or wife has.
Their stories are amazing, and it's a shame that a lot of the times the stories get lost, and this is something that we treasure.
It is, because sometimes I'll get together with the cousins, and you're talking about, well, everybody's kind of got the story, and you've got to get together and pull it together to make sure that, you know, what's correct or not, or, you know, things like that.
With
That's
time, they
wonderful.
develop a bond. We're family.
Okay, that's great. So they can, let's see, so now there's a distinction between supportive living and assisted living. So yours supportive living. So could you explain those?
Well, supported living, if they're getting a little bit of help. What we do is we don't administer any medication. We go to the elders' home, we pick them up, bring them to the doctors, wait with them, and then bring them back home. Especially in the winter months, it really makes a difference.
Yeah,
So,
that's nice, because sometimes the PACE buses or whatever, you can end up being done with your doctor's office and still having a long wait till they can get back to you. They're wonderful to have, but they're not as convenient as somebody who's waiting for you when you finally get out of the office.
yeah, so we pretty much, it's elders who are homebound. We just
homebound.
want to give them that little extra assistance.
Okay, so these elders can, you know, they using canes or walkers. I know
Canes, walkers, we cannot help out.
the
Care
wheelchair
receivers,
bound.
yeah,
Because that's
because the volunteers utilize their vehicles, and
Okay.
so
yeah, and lifting
not
those in
equipped.
and out, and
Yeah.
and the assistance needed. There's an art to that,
Yeah.
to helping people with wheelchairs. But still, a lot of folks, you know, that's you still need the help. And I noticed you do grocery shopping, but you pick up the list and then go to the store and bring it back to the elder's home.
right. So the
Okay.
volunteer picks up the list, or they can give the list over the phone of items that are needed, and the volunteers do a wonderful job. They do not bring the elders with,
Okay.
and the care receivers does pay for the groceries,
yeah, the groceries,
of course.
yeah.
And then the volunteer will come back and arrange everything and
Oh,
help
so
them out.
help put it away, and well, then, you know, that's a social opportunity for, you know, putting the stuff away and where does this go and everything else, which can help, I suppose, break the ice and get you talking with people. You know, sometimes.
And a
you
lot
know.
of them do need that little extra help. It's very hard to move around. Some have
Arthritis.
arthritis, so it really helps.
Okay, well, that's good. And like you said, this is all volunteer. There's no exchange of money between the clients and the volunteers. It's strictly, you know.
Our services are absolutely 100% free.
Now, do you get some help from the state, or is it all, you know, donations from?
all
All
donations.
donations, okay. And you are a was it 501c3 charity, so
Yes,
anybody
we are
who wanted to
nonprofit.
donate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now-
Donations are greatly accepted.
Yeah.
Please.
More than happy. Do you have a website that if people wanted to donate or
We do.
anything?
It's info eldercare.lakecounty.org.
Okay, all right, that's good. A little bit of notes here. So it takes, you were saying for like the doctor's visits, the volunteer plans about 3 hours between picking the client up and hoping the doctor's on time and bringing them back. But, you know, so how much advance notice? 'Cause I assume it's coordinating with volunteers. People aren't just sitting in your office waiting to hop in the car.
Yeah, well, we ask the care receivers because we're a volunteer-based organization, we ask that they call in 10 days prior to their doctor's appointments. It gives us a little bit of time to make the arrangements and
Okay.
also get in touch with volunteers and see.
Who's
Because sometimes
available.
we'll schedule a volunteer and that volunteer will get sick and it'll give us a little extra time to get another volunteer. So,
Okay.
and it works out.
Okay.
It works out.
Well, that's good. You know, grocery shopping, trips to the doctor, that's, you know, And just some friendly, there are some where you just go in and chat and have a friendly visit, a little FaceTime to make sure how everybody's doing, that you can't get in how you doing, Grandma? I'm just fine. Okay.
Have coffee, tea. You know, it's really nice to have a friend, someone to talk with, and we've seen the transformation that taking them to the doctors makes, doing their groceries, having someone to talk with. It's just, it's very healthy. And for a lot of these people, it's really a life or death situation. So I highly...
And the volunteers are trained to recognize when they say, well, something's not quite right with Mrs. Jones.
That
I don't
is
know what it
correct.
is, but, maybe,
There are eyes and ears, and so, yeah.
So they could contact, well, I suppose, would you then contact the client's family or somebody? I'm sure you must get information from the client, so you have that kind of a file for them.
Yes, the volunteers do report any findings that look suspicious, and we do contact the care receiver's either family member, or we do work with, I should say, collaborate with a lot of the organizations in the community, and so we all work together.
Okay, well, that's good to have a second set of ears, because somebody notices something somebody else doesn't or picks up on, it's complicated. Even sometimes you don't even realize that you're deteriorating yourself, I don't know about anybody else, but every once in a while I'll find out, like, well, the last time I tried to do that I could, but it's not so easy today as it was.
And it's really hard for the elders to say, I need help, Yes. It's really hard for them when they're losing their independence to say, I need help. So that's where we come in, and it's a very natural process, and it works. Okay. It works. I've seen changes. We're transforming lives each and every day.
Okay. Well, we're going to take just a little break, give you a chance to catch your breath, and talk about next month's guest. We're going to have someone here from PADS, which is for people who need overnight care, are homeless, and dinner and lunches and that. So Vicki will be here talking about that to give us all some more information about that and how we can help with that. And thank goodness Medicare annual enrollment is over now, so the commercials on TV will change. I'm getting a little tired of them, but next, I think the Medicare Advantage, you can still make changes up until January, so we're not quite into all political commercials yet, but that's coming. Here at Senior Issues, we're interested in additional volunteers. We have a new volunteer who came this month. If you'd like to help out, it's about a 2-hour commitment to each show. Right now we're doing 1 show a month. You can contact us at our email, or if you have a suggestion for a show you'd like to hear, that some information that you think, well, there's got to be something out there about this. I can't guarantee anything, but we'll give it a try. And our email is seniorissuesetc@gmail.com. And we have a seniorissuesetc.org website where you can look back at past shows, see if there's a topic that covers something you want to know about. And, well, I guess that's it for our break. But anyway, we're going to go back to speaking with Lee about elder care. And you serve mostly Lake County, or Northern Illinois.
Northern Lake County.
Northern Lake County. So I think you said like Zion to Libertyville.
Zion, Libertyville, Grays Lake, all of Northern Lake County. We want to expand, but of course we need volunteers. So if you're listening, come, we need your help.
All right, yeah, that's. And it's, you know, it's that first thing once you start volunteering on something. And it's not a mandatory commitment. You give as much time as they can. And
We work with whatever time. If the volunteer has an hour and they wish to do a friendly visit once a month, we work with that. So whatever you can offer, we try to match the care receiver and the volunteer demographically. And we know the needs the care receiver has, and so with what the volunteer offers, and it's
It
like
works.
yes. So
And you'd be a good referral for people who need help, but maybe you can't help, or you know another organization that would be, you know, contact so-and-so, and this is their number for, you know, assistance that's out there that's outside your special area.
we collaborate. We network with all the organizations in the community.
Okay.
So we all work together for the greater good.
Well, yeah, if you need that, because you know there's stuff out there, but it's, you know, sort of in the fog. You know, you hear about, oh,
So we refer, if we're not able to help with the need, we will refer.
and you were talking about the Antioch area actually comes to you for a lot of help because they
Yes.
have certain geographic restrictions that, you know, that your volunteers can step up and help with.
Yeah, so the need is big, especially in Zion and in Antioch, especially Antioch. We have about 2 volunteers.
Oh, okay.
that-
Antioch, we're calling you.
Yeah, so we really need volunteers in those areas. We need them in all areas,
but
especially in Antioch.
okay. Well, I know that I see some ads in my church bulletin about elder care, so you get some help from probably some of the, I think we donate something to your organization, but, you know, step up and come looking for that. Do you have any stories that you feel comfortable sharing about people's lives who have been transformed, either the volunteers or the clients, that's, you know, keeping
Well,
privacy issues and all that?
It's a very special story. It's about actually my first, because I don't just work for the organization, but I am also a volunteer. And so I met, her name is Margarita. And I met Margarita when she was 92.
Oh, a youngster.
Yes. And so Margarita came here from Florida. Her son brought her over, and so she lived in a home, a 3-bedroom home by herself, and she would sit every single day by, she had this special chair by this window, and outside her window there was a tree. I forget what kind of tree it was, but this tree became her one and only friend because she knew no one, and her son would come in rarely, I have to say, sadly. But the tree became her friend, like I said, and so she wrote over 100 poems
About
to that
the tree.
to that tree. And so when I met her, she would share her poems with me, and I could see that her hair was just, you know, she was unkempt. She couldn't care for herself, and because we do home assessments,
Okay.
I noticed that her refrigerator, the food in the fridge was spoiled.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was no milk, there was no bread, or so of course it took me about a month to finally convince her to allow me to bring in a volunteer. She didn't want one. She said, I want you as a volunteer, but I can't because I can't, you know.
You have only so much time.
Well, I also coordinate a lot of the transportation. So
All right.
I finally convinced her, and she allowed me to bring in Maritza. Well, Maritza and her became the dynamic duo. And
Oh,
so,
wonderful.
yes. To make a long story short, we served Margarita for about a good 5-6 years, and she went from being malnourished to lonely to just she hadn't been to the doctors in 10 years.
Oh my.
When we brought her to the doctors, she discovered, well, the doctor discovered she had a pacemaker, which Margarita didn't even remember. And so we found that out. So we would bring her to the doctors, she would have a friend, and we would do her groceries. And so Margarita passed, but very special to me.
Yeah, but that's, it really focuses on the fact that at 92, you can come up again, and get involved in everything else, and that it's not necessarily a decline. And I'm sure her son brought her up here with the best of intentions, but it's wonderful that Margarita found you, or whoever.
Elder care.
Elder care.
Elder care.
Elder care. Found elder care.
That's what we do at Elder Care.
Now, does the elder have to contact you, or
Actually, no. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. It was her. She lived in a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And so a gentleman in her
in the neighborhood?
Yeah, he would see that the grounds weren't
okay.
kept, and that she never came out. So he knew someone lived there.
Okay.
And he became very concerned. And so he would knock at her door and say, "Do you need something?" And she would be afraid.
Oh.
So
yeah.
he found one of our brochures and
Okay. Yes. The
contacted
brochure.
us. Yes.
Well, that's good. Yeah. So you can step in as a neighbor. You don't need. Well, it's none of my business, or I shouldn't, or somebody else should. You can call, and you're okay with that. Well, that's good.
It's neighbor helping neighbor.
Yep, that is your slogan, Elder Care, neighbor helping neighbor. And right now you're located in Waukegan at
410 Waukegan, 410 Grand Avenue in Waukegan.
Okay, well that's nice.
Yes.
Sort of central in there. And my goodness, you've got about, if my notes are correct, about 400 elders you're taking care of and 120 volunteers.
And growing.
And growing. Okay.
Every week we get 5, 7, 10 applications.
for assistance.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
The need is great. More and more. And they're actually communicating to one another, word of mouth. Hey, did you hear about Elder Care? They're taking great care of me. So they're recommending it to, yes.
It's probably easier to get clients than it is volunteers, but hopefully this show will help you with some volunteers stepping up.
I do hope, and I'd like to invite those that watch the show, if you have a friend, an uncle, a cousin, a grandpa who wants to do a little something with, it would really change someone's life. So please come on out and help us. We really do need you, and we thank you in advance.
Okay, and it sounds like you're giving something, but you're getting stuff back too. It's
so much, so much.
Yeah, that.
Can't put it into words.
Well, that's good. Yeah, big enough area, like you said. You're not going to be going, from here to there to visit somebody. There's always somebody in your local neighborhood that could use your help, and
sometimes the person you least expected is the one that's in need. So,
okay.
Yeah, and it's in our, within our community.
Well, that's, it's what, because I had seen Elder Care, but I just didn't connect, till you retire and have a little more time to look into stuff and things like that. But it's wonderful that there's an organization like this, because it's not like, the little town 60 years ago where you knew what, your neighbor was doing or whatever. Nobody's on the front porch anymore. That went away when I was a child, much less currently. So it's great.
And that's the thing about us, because they trust us. It's really hard nowadays, especially a lot of people take advantage of the elders.
Yes.
And so the organization is known because
You
the
do the
trust,
background
yes.
checks and everything else.
we're
to
a
keep.
very safe organization, thank God. So
Yeah, because you have to be a little suspicious, and then the ads on TV talk about being careful and don't let this happen or that happen, and so it's great to have an organization out there like yours where you're doing the background checks. You've got enough people there to help, and
oh yeah.
Just to make you feel more secure. You start,
We have volunteers from pilots to lawyers to, yes.
Great.
Yes. So these people want to give back, and it really makes a difference.
Okay.
So.
Well, looks like we're running out of time. I wish we could chat more, and but this sounds like a wonderful organization to be involved in, especially since it's you give as much time as you can, and go from there. So it's not a a second job that. But it was so nice of you to come and speak with us.
Thank you for having us. It's been my pleasure.
Happy holidays. We're
Thank you.
coming into, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Just, short, few more weeks, the days will be getting longer. That's what I'm hanging on to. And, you take care. And
Thank you, you too.
All right?
Give the gift of love,
I will.
your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too. Oh my gosh, I've been